Did Astralis choke again? That's the question of the day. That's the question of this video. So they played Mousesports on Friday in the quarterfinals of ELEAGUE and they lost 2-0. And for the first map, it was their map pick, Mirage. They won the ninth round. They started on CT side and they lost the half 13-2. And the whole series is 2-0. So you expect a lot more from Astralis in a series that you expect them to win against Mousesports. I mean, that's their opponent in terms of rankings and whatnot. But if you think about it, I mean, Astralis, they got a golden ticket to the quarterfinals with the easiest group of the tournament, pretty much. And they've been struggling all year. It's just that, I mean, if you looked at how Mousesports they played in the, the last chance qualifier, it was really sloppy. And Astralis, they had time to practice. We haven't seen them for a while, but even then, we all know, I mean, they have their own office and everything, so you expected a good result. And most analysts, they predicted that they would win the match. But they got steamrolled, especially on their own map. I mean, 2 rounds on the CT side, and come on, man. So, I mean, we have to put credit where it's due. I've seen a lot of like Mousesports these days. So is it really like his efforts that led Mousesports to a better result this time around? And I will say that their in-game leading has improved a lot. And since even the last chance qualifier, like, it was really sloppy, but now it's super. I mean, there's more structure to it, and there's more like it's more unpredictable. Especially against Astralis, that's something that'll work well. If I have one word to describe Astralis, it's the word standard. They play standard. I mean, they don't do anything wacky. They do things that make sense and that are super common. And it's like chaos will surprise them. And the way that they play it, which is standard, it's like they think that their opponents will play it that way too. But Mousesports, they do a lot of wacky stuff actually in this matchup. I mean, they dry rush stuff. They don't even use their smokes. They just like walk in the site. I mean, who expects that? They go 5 up mid. Lots of unexpected stuff. And Astralis, they didn't get their heads in the game, and that surprised them. So here I am. I'm gonna break down the half that they lost actually, 13-2. Seeing like is it more Astralis that choked, or is it Mousesports that really cleaned up their game? So let's go with the pistol round. See, even from the get-go, Mousesports, they go 5 up B halls. They have good utility, as you can see. They throw 1 flash in and they rush. So you look at what they have as utility. They have a smoke and a molly, and they just threw 1 flash in and they just bomb rush in. And this is pretty much a standard setup from Astralis, and there's nothing to blame. It's Xipex, he anchors the B halls, and Device, he plays on cat to like establish a crossfire, so to speak. And you'll see here 1 kill on the 2 guys holding the site with only 1 flash used. So they use a smoke afterwards. Next he does work, just pushes, he has a good position. So they use a smoke afterwards on Cat, and they still have the Molotov on Nico. 4 kills for Nex. I mean, it's just a rush B. I mean, nothing complicated. They just won the gunfights, and they just swarmed them with numbers. In this round, something that Mousesports improved a lot is their anti-ecos. They're gonna, if you want to learn how to play anti-ecos on Mirage, this is definitely something to look at. So they're gonna pretty much go slow B, and Astralis they stack towards A. So that's, I mean, sort of a gamble, anyways. So this is kind of a throwaway round. It's just, I mean, you're not stacking the right side. There's nothing to do. So they pinch on B, slowly put a smoke down. Good synergy. They smoke the site, and there's nothing to do for Astralis. So taking it slow, seeing where are they stacking. They get in the site together, and there's nobody. So good stuff. And Dennis trying to cash in. This round again, anti-eco. Mousesports, they're gonna what are they gonna do? They're gonna take their time again and the anti-eco. I mean, you see this, they stay way back. Spidey here looks at Palace. So they take their time. And again, Astralis are stacking A, with Kerrigan spotting B halls alone. Eventually, so you see this. They're gonna use Dennis to pretty much. He's gonna do what Fur does with SK, sort of doing an A execute here. And the SMG just rushes in information. It doesn't work out. So they know a stack is there. Well, more than like 3 people are there. So they swarm Kerrigan. They leave Nico to lurk. He gets shut down. The round's over at this point. So they sacrifice the SMG on Dennis, and it pays off. They detect the stack on A, and they go B instead, swarming Kerrigan. Kerrigan can't do shit. So your typical 3-0 after winning the pistol. I mean, actually lots of teams like they fuck up the anti-eco these days. Not the issue here for Mousesports. So first gun round, Kerrigan doesn't have much utility, and you're gonna see here Mousesports they're going to like dry rush A ramp, and Astralis they play 2 under balcony. Actually, they don't expect the second guy, which is carry B. So it's all on him at this point. And you see here, Kerrigan, he rotates CT spawn with Zipex. That's gonna... So, 2 on 4 for Astralis. Pretty good stuff. They know Kirby's there. Nico's in Palace. And here... Like... Oh, no. That's like... So, Mouse, they know that Kirby's under balcony, so they're obviously, they want to eliminate him. But then Kerrigan, he had the chance to trade, he misses it. Here, both star players, they duel it out. Here you're gonna see. Actually, I'm gonna show you. So Chris J, he flashes in, and they both peek. Exactly, this is perfect. They're like, they peek at the same time, the same angle, but on different levels. I mean, one's on this. On the level, on ground level, and Nico's on the higher level. So that's like really good coordination. So Zipex is gonna save the ult of Kerrigan. So Kerrigan missed a crucial shot. At Device he lost a crucial fight. Kirby he did his job, and after it's just like Nico and Chris J playing off each other really well. I will say that like Kerrigan's rotation wasn't really good because you had Zipex on CT spawn, and you have an ult, and you're going CT spawn also, so you have like 2 snipers here. So obviously you can't really gain ground on that. Like if you have 2 snipers, I don't want them in the same spot for a retake, especially. I mean, you want different angles of attack. If you would have gone jungle, you could have like taken out Nico instead. I mean, yeah, don't rotate like 2 snipers in the same spot. You need different angles to have picks. So, anti-eco for Mousesports, they go top mid, 4 of them. Really weird stuff. You're gonna see here, they like all go behind the boxes at mid. It's good, like, cause usually the guy on window with money, he'll he'll fire off the boxes, but obviously they don't have the money for that. So I mean, Mousesports, they know that they don't have lots of utility, and they do something weird that'll actually work because they know that information. So this is something that Mousesports they do a lot in this match. Like they got spotted mid, and lots of them, and they invalidate the information that Astralis they gathered. So they saw like at least 3 mid from what they can hear and see, but so they have doubts. But if you think about it, oops. So 16 seconds, for example. Um, I mean, you'll get some information, but I mean, more the more the round drags out, I mean, that information doesn't mean shit because they can go anywhere. So it takes them 16 seconds to go here. They could have went here too. So this concept of invalidating information, I mean, Mousesports will do it a lot in this match, and that's possible because I mean, next he's like the pivot of Mousesports' offense. He's watching A, so that's like a route that they can take. I mean, they can't go. They don't take the risk of going B halls because they never had anybody in there. But instead, next was watching A. Okay, it's safe. You guys can at least like go in this area and let's take A. I mean A together. And Nico's just lurking here. So they leave a lurker where they were all spotted on, and that way, I mean, middle is a good zone of control because you can control. I mean, the rotations and everything. You can cut people off. So that's a good idea. And now, I mean, they stall out so much, and then Astralis they become paranoid. Device watches B Hall. Kerrigan he comes to spot with him, and just pinch the lonely guy on A. So I guess the mindset of Astralis was that like they saw that mid, and okay, they can go cat, they can go underpass. I mean, these two options, so probably B's a good option. Instead, they go the other way around, and they just like force a rotation just out of paranoia. So invalidating the information is something that Astralis, I mean Mousesports, they worked on a lot, from what I can see. It's a good round. They start off like 4 mid, and they leave next for the at A for like a pivot of attack. Actually Taco does that a lot with SK. So it's the dirty work. Like next, he has a really good match actually, but it's like the dirty work. You don't do shit in the beginning of the round, but it's so important. So here, round 6, it's a slow B by Mousesports. So yeah, they work on B. Nico's sort of the lurker once again. Standard stuff by Astralis. I mean, 1 B hall. Actually, they played like heavy B hall. Speed this up. So the lurker's down. Now they hit B. Device just he gets traded on Cat, which is fine. Then he shoots his teammate Kerrigan, and he's like the worst angle ever. So he shoots his teammate, and after it's like 1v2. So I mean, when you hear an AWP shot, 1 HP, 1v2. When you hear an AWP shoot, that's like your cue to peek, especially in the 1v2. Dupree hesitated and he just gets his head ripped off. That's like hesitation. The B hold wasn't especially good. I mean, it doesn't help for Zipex that Kerrigan shoots him, but yeah. Mistakes by Kerrigan. Astralis, they actually get the man advantage lots of times. I mean, man advantage, good shot. He actually hit Cruz too. So they have the man advantage. Nico's lurking mid. They're still in 3B hall. What they're gonna do is, again, they're gonna invalidate the information, and now they go underpass. So they go underpass because now this round it's Nico that's sort of the pivot of attack. He was mid, he had enough information, there's nobody mid, there's nobody like crouching in the window watching underpass. Now Nico's just gonna like yep, he's gonna troll Kirby. So I mean the only, so it's about 5-on-4 for Astralis, and the only spot that they don't watch is connector. And actually, well, Mousesports they go through connector. Sort of unfortunate, but this angle is I don't really like this angle by Kirby. I don't know why. Well, you saw Chris J. He was like sort of like boosted here, and like I would have preferred this angle by Kirby. Like just watch the boost if that's what he's worried about. But if he were here, he would have seen Nico. But then again, Chris J would have saw him. It's just there are too many entrances for Astralis to deal with, I guess. So a 4-on-5 becomes a 3-on-2. In such a short amount of time. Again, Zipex is forced to save. But what Mousesports did well again was like invalidate information. So when Zipex got the first kill, by jumping he saw like 4 people, and after that, well, they're not there anymore. They go mid because Nico enables that. But again, it all falls apart just by the fact that it's like Astralis they expected a sort of like utility to be used. But instead, it's just Nico. He just walks in connector, goes here without making a sound, just kills Kirby. Because that angle by Kirby, it's obviously like overcommitting. At the same time, it's like I think in his mind it's just, oh, they won't go connector without like throwing a smoke or a flash, or like he'd wait on like a execute and then he'd turn around. Again, it's just like weird stuff like with Mousesports. Me too. I wouldn't really expect like a team to just like walk up connector. And it's unfortunate in the sense that Mousesports go the only way that nobody's watching. So obviously, like not using utility works in their favor. But again, it's just really unexpected stuff by Mousesports. But when you have the man advantage, you just set up crossfires, and at that point, you just force like trades for like, crossfire. They play more heavy towards A this round. Astralis. So what's gonna happen here? Again, they played 2 like balcony-ish. It's gonna be a delayed A pinch by Mouse. They really delayed. So now they're starting. So they got 2 mid that's they're going to go connector, and 1 palace, 2 ramp. So here Kirby, decent hold. They try to flush out both guys on the balcony. And it's just, I mean, look at this. Like no utility was used by Mousesports. That round it bit them in the ass because, I mean, yeah, they were playing 200 balcony again and they have the Molotov and everything, but like when the guy out of palace he tries to take the fight on the guy's balcony, under balcony, the guy jungle just takes him out. And I guess that's how Astralis set up is the idea behind it. That's what it is. Like yeah, we're taking 200 balcony, but we're covered. So easy shot here, missed by Kerrigan. So now they're on cat, and what's gonna happen is that yeah, it's Device here. He sort of hesitates, like I don't know what he's doing. So he's late, and Nico already crossed. So he's gonna kill Zipex. And now, I mean, he's not in a position to trade because he hesitated. I don't know why. I mean, you know it's heavy mid, and you just leave the guy be alone, and it's just side control giving up. So that hesitation really cost the, I mean, the site itself for Astralis. So 4 on 3. Again, they still have man advantage, but what's gonna happen is Nico's gonna do a play here, kill star player. Again, still man advantage. They trade, good stuff. But now it's all about next. Patient. Wins a 1v1. So Kerrigan, he misses a shot. Then Device, he hesitates to rotate, leaving like Zipex alone after you've seen like at least 3 cat. I think they become paranoid about like what happened the other round, that Mousesports, he sort of took mid control and even cat control, and then it just like walked back A. So they became paranoid at that point. But Astralis, they still have money, they have Yob and money, I mean, not much utility. So good shot here, man advantage once again. And he repeats the angle. My rule of thumb for that is I repeat an angle once, not twice. And okay, here. So they got the first kill, and Kerrigan gets flushed out of window. And now the reaction is, I mean, the man advantage once again, if I'm gonna talk about it, is you establish crossfires so that you force trades and you funnel like the terrorists into a choke point, and you trade, and from that point on, and it's just, I mean, if you're one man up, and if you theoretically you always trade 1 for 1, and you're gonna win the round. I mean, with one person alive, who cares? You get the round. So here, this is not a crossfire. So Kerrigan, he's holding, like, I really don't like this angle because you have to watch like cat and mid, and obviously he loses. And what is Device supposed to do in that situation? This isn't a situation in which he can trade. I mean, Kerrigan, again, he just holds an angle to asking for a fight. And what you're gonna see here is that they have mid control, really heavy mid control, and Dupree just hesitates the whole round to push. Here Kirby, he messes up. Dupree, he hesitates here all round long, and it's just round over. You have side control. Also, I mean, I can't catch everything. Basically, Device was holding this angle on cat, and Zipex, when it's in the site, just taking fights. But at that point, staying alive is what you have to do. Because if you're in the site here as a counter-terrorist, and you have a guy holding this angle, I mean, all you want to do is sort of bait for your teammates, so the terrorists will come like swarm you, watching at you. And this guy, he has like 3 shots. I mean, everybody will be sideways to him. I mean, I don't think they would have won the round out of that alone, because it would have been 3 on 5 at that point, and Dupree was like freaking here. But yeah, it would have helped if Zipex would have played off of Device. I mean, or Device would have played off of Zipex. And instead, he took fights and he dies. So if the guy on site dies, after that, it's easy for the terrorists to focus their attention towards the market, because they know that Zipex sort of the B anchor, he plays van all the time. So just staying alive was super important for Zipex there to just enable Device to do work. They just like over peaks and dies. And Dupree, he hesitated the whole round pushing apartment. So lots of hesitation from Astralis. It's like they don't have a read on things basically. Mousesports are like running them around. This is sort of a default round. I mean, Astralis are saving. Dupree gets too anxious. He takes a fight in an angle. That's to the terrorist advantage. And a molly right there. And this round's over with 2 pistols and it's 4 guys. 4 terrorists. And a nade. Oh, Jesus. Okay. 10-1. This is just destruction. 10-1. 12th round. What's gonna happen is that Astralis are gonna try a heavy mid setup. So they're gonna have a guy window, they're gonna have a guy dropping down, and they're gonna have a guy in connector. But actually, this is a round that Mouse do something super wacky. They go 5 mid. And this guy gets destroyed. This device he peeks too late. I guess that's based off of his spawn. And it's just like, well, round's over basically. And even then, like, it's 2-on-5 and Mousesports, they don't get over anxious. They went 5 mid, so they got spotted, all of them. And they just reset. Sort of establish a new plan. What do we do from here? Take their time. They go on A and it's actually on B that Astralis they stack. I guess they could become paranoid because, I mean, I'm sure it happens to anybody playing like matchmaking or like ECA pugs. When the site doesn't hold shit, you'll just say, oh, they're probably gonna go there again. You become paranoid about it, and yeah, B didn't. The holds aren't really successful thus far. The Pix isn't holding shit. Device is having a bad game, so their gamble is B, and it doesn't work out. But again, it's the fact that Mousesports, they're super patient about their plays. They don't rush anything without like being sure it's the right decision. It's really like clean at this point. And the mid setup, what I will say, I mean, Kirby gets caught here. Yeah, playing window with an M4 is suboptimal, I will say. And device, I mean, it's based off of his spawn, but at that point it's just too late to peek. I mean, five people especially. So both of your teammates die, and that's when you peek connector. I mean, that's, one is mistimed, and two, like, you don't take a fight with 5 people mid. Maybe it's a communication issue. Obviously, he didn't have a good spawn, I guess. And yeah, I mean, if 3 people die in the first 10 seconds, I mean, that's round over for anybody. So, really, yeah. So Mouse, they know that Astralis is saving this round because they've seen like they had lots of guns. So with one flash, actually, they're gonna like take the A side. And they don't use any smokes, they just use Molotovs to flush like pistols out. Like 2 what the hell is this? So 1 Molotov under the balcony, 1 sandwich, 2 jungle. So they just use Molotovs, and they still have, like, they have a smoke on Dennis, and they use it afterwards. They use it afterwards to just to be able to plant safely. Because even if you have a pistol, I mean, if somebody's planning, you're gonna kill him. What I like about that is that they know that Astralis are saving. So why would I smoke off stuff if I can just like take the fight with an AK against a pistol? Anyways, so it's to my advantage to just take the fight, and like against a pistol, I should win. Yeah, Astralis are having a bad game anyway, so it's like a confidence thing at this point. So 12-1. We have a 14th round here. This time, knowing that Astralis, they have guns, they're gonna execute on A. So they smoke jungle. They're gonna smoke jungle and stairs, but no smoke on spawn. But for once, they have a really good flank on Palace. 4 on 3. There's no reason for Spidey to push the smoke. They had the man advantage. They were 4 on 3, and you push a smoke out of all things. I mean, what the hell? Man advantage, just play safe. Here, really good stuff by Dupree. He takes the right precautions. He knows a opposite Palace device. He flushes him out. He smokes him off. Forces a peek. And Dupree wins another fight. So really good flank by Dupree for once. Um, I mean, Mouse. The thing is that they they know that Astralis aren't very aggressive, so that one flank from Dupree pushing Palace, that's like unexpected for them. And yeah, they play around like Astralis's passiveness, I guess. So Dupree, really good flank, and if he would have lost that fight Firebox, actually, I think that Mousesports would have won that round. I mean, Device he had an AWP, and at that point, I guess he could have played with him. So last round of the half. Well, this is really interesting, actually. So Dupree, he has control of mid. I'm just gonna point out. So Dupree, he knows that you do not. What the hell? You do not cross this line if you're a CT player. Why? Because if he peeks this, he can have a guy on top, a guy on the bottom, so it's a better angle for the terrorists. And for a terrorist, they only have to worry about one thing, which is like his own angle, like I mean ground level. So Device, he gets legged by Chris J. And what he's gonna do as a rotation, actually he holds the angle for a bit, but afterwards he's gonna go on support duty. If you want to see anything, so he smokes it off. He tells Zipex to take the mantle. Again, you'll see here next is sort of the escort if they ever want to back off, and that's what they're gonna do. So Dupree, I'm gonna watch Dupree here. He has big control, so that's a lot of information. And again, Mousesports, they're gonna invalidate the information that Device gathered in the beginning of the round. So he saw Chris J in apartments, I mean in B halls, and that isn't true anymore. Later in the round goes on. So he sees two players here, and he's gonna go aggressive on it. And Mousesports, they stay patient. It's not like, oh, we see a guy top mid, just rush him. They stay patient, they hold the angle, and they sort of bait the mistake from Dupree. So here, you gotta see here the fact that the danger of like sort of playing super passive on the site is, you see the flash here. So next was holding this angle from Spidey ish. So a guy could have easily set up in like close A ramp. So that's a danger, because if you don't have control of A ramp, and meanwhile, I mean the CTs can establish like good forward position. If Astralis ever wanted to counteract the whole like concept of Mouse's default is to advance in this area ish, since the guy Palace is always here, so you did not cross this line. Actually this line. You don't cross like this area. But I mean, if you're in these halls, it's so powerful. For a retake, you're so unexpected. You can peek from here, or you can like push in behind them, as Dupree did the other round. So yeah, it's the risk of playing so passive on A from Mousesports. I mean, people can like re-infiltrate your lines, like establish here or here. But in that regards, they adapt to it, and obviously they didn't have control of ramp. They take the necessary precautions, so they flash like the ramp. Kirby gets destroyed. Two on 3, and they have again for a retake 2 snipers on spawn. Just as a random play.
Bomb has been planted.
And it's just Device went in 1 entry with an AWP on spawn, with like 3 people watching him. And this is half over. 13-2. The 2 rounds that Mousesports lost, it was just like, obviously, I mean, it's a success of a half, but the rounds that they lost was just, I mean, being too greedy on like the whole, like I just walk in a site with a flash or something, and they don't use their utility properly. But again, I can't say anything because it works so many times against Astralis this half, just being unexpected and shit. But this round, the whole thing was that yeah, Dupree he messed up his play on mid. Um, they rotate 2 snipers on CT spawn. They invalidated the information that they got from B halls early on, and yeah, I mean they just collapsed on A beautifully. Astralis they don't like. It's so like Mousesports always start their rounds passively, and you'll see these zones that you cannot cross, right? This, this, and well, they were pretty aggressive on B hall, so you don't really cross like this, I guess. So, but then again, you have to know your limits. They didn't have a read at all on Mousesports. It's like they were so cowering in fear. They never had a good push or a good information plays. They were just in the dark the whole time. It was either they got the first kill, and after they don't establish like proper crosshaires to trade, and afterwards like just work on your numbers. And as I've said, they don't work on their information. They were always in the dark of everything. But then again, Mousesports they deny it at the same time systematically. For example, if they went for mid, they will have like next here to escort his buddies back to A. But again, it's as if the whole match they didn't know that Astralis never knew that that was a whole like system of Mousesports having next here alone. If they would have pushed at least like I mean I don't know like 2 rounds Palace or like A ramp, they would have noticed okay like, that's something that we can't do because next is always like watching the A push. But then again, they would have noticed that if he's holding A alone, you knowing your limits, you can still establish like forward position, and you can gather like sound cues. For example, if you had somebody here and you would hear them walk like T spawn, that's already like lots of information for your B players to rotate properly and no don't put like 2 snipers on CT spawn. So yeah, I mean again I'll still like give a lot of credit to Mousesports. They polished their in-game calls, I guess. I think it's Casa that's taken the mantle of Nico, and Nico just can just like focus on going nuts. But yeah, invalidating the information is something that Mousesports do really well. Astralis they're too passive, and they play too standard, and Mousesports they use that to their advantage. They just like dry rush a site. They just use one flash. They don't even smoke off like the default stuff of the A site. I mean jungle, stairs, and C spawn. So it was really well played by Mousesports. I will say that. I mean, I say it's like 60% Mousesports like really having good calls, and it's like 40% of Astralis choking. I mean, there are shots that they should have hit. There were like moments. There were like aggressive plays were really available for Astralis, especially not aggressive I'd say, but I mean when you have the man advantage, they didn't play off of that really well, and they just cowered like in gathering information, and they used Mousesports they used that darkness to their advantage. Like okay, like Astralis they don't know a thing, so we just force a mistake and we'll win the round, and that's what happened like every round pretty much. So yeah, really well played by Mousesports. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned, and that's it for me. Thanks.